Hey guys, I'm back at school in a new dorm. Still haven't really worked out how exactly this is going to work. I'm still kind of rearranging things, so we'll see, but for now we're right here. So this is going to be a pretty kind of important video, and it's something that I've wanted to talk about for a really long time and haven't for a wide variety of reasons, but this is going to discuss the abuse that has kind of been coming out recently in regards to YouTubers and just kind of the scandal that it's been creating, because it is a very important thing to talk about. I've wanted to talk about it, but I've been kind of hesitant because obviously I'm not an expert on any of these things, and I'm not any of the victims or anything like that, so I kept kind of putting it off, but I do think it's extremely important for people to talk about it. So I even scripted a video for it, like not scripted per se, but like created a what I want to talk about list kind of thing, and then didn't do it because I kind of like just couldn't get the words out. But there's a Tumblr called youtubespeaks.tumblr.com that definitely pushed me even more to make this video. So we're just gonna do it because I think it's just important to have as many videos out there on this as possible to get word out about it. So I'm just gonna go for it. Like I said before, I am not an expert on any of these things. I'm not a victim here or anything like that. So I definitely think that if you're watching this, you need to hear about this from people like that, people who are more knowledgeable on this type of thing, and the people who were actually hurt from this. And so I think youtubespeaks.tumblr.com is a good resource to get started on that and start finding information and things like that. So I really encourage you to go there, because really the only thing that this video is going to do is call attention to a much larger problem, and you need more information. So far, I've kind of talked about this on my Twitter, and I've reblogged things about it on Tumblr, so I haven't been completely silent on it. Hit the bed. But I haven't really made a video or gone into detail about it for the reasons I said before. But also, when this first started happening, I was very disconnected from it. The first few, well, I don't want to say, okay, so the first time I can really remember a YouTuber being called out for something really bad was Mike Lombardo, and that was before this really started getting huge. And I knew who he was because I watched the 5 Awesome Girls and Haley and all of that, and I had learned about who he was from that, but I never really watched his videos or anything. So when that really happened, like, I was still kind of like shocked, but it wasn't like a huge thing. And then it kind of like died down, and then when this whole thing started like blowing up, I did not know the first several people who were accused, and so I was paying attention to it just because it was like such a huge thing, and because I thought it was important, but I didn't know who the people were, and so I didn't really like speak out that much about it, although I do think I was talking about it on Twitter and Tumblr. And then, like, as it kept happening, the people's names were becoming more familiar, and I actually knew who they were, but I still didn't watch their videos, so it still wasn't something that was huge for me. Then Luke Connard and Alex Carpenter were accused, and I used to watch Luke's videos. I had actually unsubscribed before this all happened, because funnily enough, like, I just never really liked him that much. Like, there always seemed to be something about him that just irked me, and I could never figure out what it was. Now that this has all happened, I'm kind of wondering if I just like sensed that there was something off about him because I had like no good reason for not liking him. I just didn't. So that was weird. But so I had already unsubscribed from him by the time he was accused, but I did watch and still watch the girls who he hurt videos. So that it was still like kind of a huge deal because of that. And then Alex Carpenter, I still watched his videos when he was accused. I don't anymore. I don't even think he's made a video since he got accused, but I'm not subscribed to him anymore, so I don't actually know that for sure. And so that definitely like was like the final straw, and I was like really involved in what exactly was happening. And I again watched Sarah, who came out about what Alex did to her. I watched her videos, and I know a lot of the other girls who accused him as well. So that was my kind of personal story about how this has affected me, I guess, which isn't like a huge thing, obviously, but it's just gradually become like closer and closer to me as the time has gone on. Like, I know who the YouTubers are more, and like I said, I don't support any of them anymore. It's really disappointing to me because obviously Luke, even though I unsubscribed from his videos, is in the Ministry of Magic, I don't know if they're technically still together, and Alex obviously is 3 Miss Lupins, and those are 2 of my favorite Wizard Rock bands, and now that's all completely ruined, and I'm very upset about that. But yeah, I don't even know what to say about it, because it's just a horrible, terrible situation. But I refuse to support any of these abusers, so I'm not supporting them anymore, and it's just a very, very upsetting thing. And obviously I understand there are people who are standing up for the abusers, which is terrible. Never stand up for an abuser, ever. And people who are saying the victims are lying, which is ridiculous. It's very obvious that they're not, and not taking a victim seriously is one of the worst things you can do. You never do that. Never. If someone comes to you and tells you that they were a victim of abuse, you don't immediately tell them that they're lying. Just, that is one thing that is really, really making me mad. People who are standing up for the abusers, and people who are being terrible to the victims, who have obviously already been through enough. And just, people need to stop. But like I said, I'm not going to go into more detail about that because I'm not an expert or a good source of information. Go to youtubespeaks.tumblr.com and you can find more there. Obviously, just learning about abuse in general is a good idea, and things that pretty much everyone should know. So yeah, I think I've pretty much said everything that I have to say. It was probably not that well worded, but like I said, I just needed to get something out about it because I think this is very important for people to talk about this. I think everyone needs to make videos on it. If someone on YouTube is an abuser, obviously they need to be called out. If you're a victim, I understand that coming forward is really difficult to do, so I'm not mad if you don't, but I think calling attention to it and supporting the people who are victims is the only way that this is actually going to get better. Because if you're being terrible to victims, then people who are victims are not going to come forward, and we're not even going to realize the full scope of this problem. So yeah, calling people out is very important. Calling any sort of attention to it whatsoever, anything you can do is a good idea. And being supportive to the victims and not supporting the abusers is like the most important thing to do, and it's not even that difficult. So yeah, like I said before, and like I said like 5 times throughout the course of this video, I highly recommend going to youtubespeaks.tumblr.com. They have some of the victims' stories on there, like talking about what happened. They have a list of the people who have been accused, so you know who to avoid and who to call out and all of that thing. And they have some stuff on just a ton of resources on this and what you can do and all of that and how you can help and all of that important stuff. So I recommend going there. And yeah, I think that is all. I will see you guys later. Bye.